It's Fresh Orangina here, Carrie, and I'm going to do another recipe for you guys today. So what I'm making today, I was at the farmer's market last weekend and found some really awesome veggies. This is an eggplant, different variety than the one I used in the last video, and these are squashes. They're so pretty. And since I have a lot of fresh veggies that have to be used right now, I figured why not make something that uses a lot of different veggies. So I am making a shrimp green curry today. Some of the ingredients might be a little bit more difficult to find, but I think because Thai food is becoming a bit more popular now, you might be able to find some of these things at your local grocery store. Otherwise, check on the net and see where your local Asian grocery store is, because they always have awesome stuff. Lots of different types of sauce bases and spices and that kind of thing. So, what am I making? I'm making shrimp green curry. I have some shrimp here from Costco that is defrosting. I'm using the raw shrimp. And this is not fully defrosted quite yet. I'm going to be running cold water over it to defrost it faster. I'm going to be using some basil that I picked up at the farmer's market. I am going to be using my gorgeous eggplants, so pretty, and then my beautiful zucchini, really nice. And then I'm also using a couple of carrots and a red onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you want. You can also sort of throw in whatever veggies you like. If you notice, a lot of times in Thai restaurants, green curry will come with different types of vegetables in it. Sometimes it's with peas in it. Very often they put like red pepper and that kind of thing in it. No red pepper for me because I am allergic. So I've got here, this is the green curry sauce I'm going to be using, green curry paste. And you can find this in different forms. I just got a small one because I'm going to be using the whole thing. I'm not going to be making this again. At home, I buy a brand that's called Mayploy that comes in sort of like a little bin. And that you can keep in the fridge and scoop out as you need it. I am also using a can of coconut milk. Yum. And so basically it's going to be like a stewed coconut curry. And instead of rice, which is normally served over rice or noodles, I am going to take some of that leftover coleslaw that I made in the last video, and I'm going to stir fry this up, and that is going to be the bed for our green curry shrimp to go on. So let's get started on our prep. All of the veggies are going to be thrown in at the same time. So I am just going to get them all ready and throw them all in a bowl so that we can dump them into the curry when they're ready to go. I'm just making little coins from these carrots. I'm probably doing them at about maybe 1/4 of an inch. Something like that. You just want to make sure that they're all sort of consistent so that you don't have one that's really skinny and then one that's a lot bigger, and that way they'll cook more consistently and they'll all be the same sort of texture. It's not like you'll get one that's mushy, that's really thin, and then you'll get a big chunky one that's still maybe not quite cooked in the middle. I got you that. Yum. Because carrots are yummy. There's a lot of people who are like, oh no, if you're doing low carb, you can't have carrots. That's crazy. I don't think anybody ever had a problem with their weight because they ate too many carrots. You can use whatever color onion that you want. I'm just using red onion because I have some and they're kind of fun. And so, yeah, let's use that. Using what you have in the fridge, to me, is a great thing. A lot of times I'll make something like this or just look at what has to be used and then make something up from that. So yeah, just making sort of chunky size stuff from all this. Next comes our zucchini. So because I want to make sure that I don't have a core there, and that seems all right. And this is the little blossom end. You can just remove that a little bit like that. Cut that in half. And then we just want to make these into chunks. We can do them in the same approximate sizes as the other ones that we already prepared. All right, now we're just gonna get ready to do our eggplant. So we want to take off the tops here and not too much of it. So you can get rid of that. And then if there's any extra, just trim around the top. That stem part is going to be pretty tough, so we don't want that in our dish. All right, so once you've trimmed the tops off, we're pretty much going to be preparing it in exactly the same way as the other one. So, and again, what you just want to make sure to do is that all of your vegetables have like similar sized pieces, so they cook sort of evenly. These are very nice looking eggplants. I gotta say, I was excited when I saw these. I was like, oh, those are so pretty. I gotta get some of those. And I find, like, especially at the farmer's market, your butt goes a long way. I mean, and it's an outing. It's not just like shopping at the grocery store. You know, it's really fun. I have to say, that's one thing I really look forward to in the summer is the farmer's markets and seeing all the different things people are growing, and yeah, awesome stuff. All right, so for the last bit, we're gonna be finishing off our dish with some fresh basil. So I'm just gonna take some of this basil and rinse it off real quick. There are a couple of different options of how you can use this. You can, when I'm doing it for caprese salad, so if I have fresh mozzarella that I'm doing with heirloom tomatoes, I'll do the basil in a chiffonade where you basically take the large leaves, roll them up, and then cut across very finely. For this though, we're going to be stirring this into our green curry at the end, so I want to keep it actually a little bit chunky. So I'm just going to kind of cut it up like this. All right, so that is pretty much it for our prep. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm going to turn on my heat. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of oil to the bottom of this pot. You want something big that will accommodate the whole size of your dish and be able to stew in there without bubbling over. And then the first thing we're going to be adding in is the curry paste. I also want to make a note that I do have 2 cans of coconut milk, because that is going to be the entire amount of liquid for all of our veggies and shrimp to stew in. And so we want to make sure that there is enough. So you can just mix this around in the pan a little bit and start to get it to fry. There's already like amazing smells coming off of this curry. Yummy. Also, this is a fairly spicy dish. Depending on where you get your green curry from, the green curry paste itself will be quite spicy, especially if it's more an Asian brand as opposed to a North American brand. The North American brands are a little bit more adapted, and so the flavorings are not quite as strong. And if you're working on reducing fat in your diet, if that's a thing for you, then you can do this with just 1 can of coconut milk and just maybe add a little bit of broth in instead of the 2nd can. But I'm going to go ahead and add 2 because I like a nice saucy yummy curry. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit now because we want this to incorporate and kind of bubble up and cook a bit. Alright, right now we are bubbling away in our curry sauce here, and we're ready to add in the veggies. And like I said, you can just take your veggies and plop them all in. And sort of mix them around so they all get there. And you see how they're sort of like just covered by the liquid. That's the amount of liquid that you want in there for the amount of vegetables that you have. So if you're making a different size batch, you can do it sort of the same thing. But you want it to just sort of be up to that point. If you only wanted to add the 1 can of coconut milk, you can put your veggies in and then just fill it up so that the veggies are just sort of covered there. And they are going to be stewing in this curry sauce and cooking for a little while. I have the shrimp, and if it's still frozen, you can just run cold water over it until it defrosts. Okay, so our curry is bubbling away here. You want to make sure to sort of check on it and turn the heat down a little bit if it's bubbling up a little bit too much. Make sure nothing is stuck to the bottom and burning. So just keep an eye on it. I also wanted to make a note. This is my defrosted shrimp. I actually took the shell part of the tails off because I want it to be fully edible, so you don't have to pick anything out and put it on the side. And I decided actually that I'm also going to add some peas in. So these are just frozen peas, and I'm going to add them in along with the shrimp near the end of our cooking time after all the veggies have finished cooking. In Thailand, they actually have these really, really tiny, not quite this tiny, but these little tiny little eggplants that are green, and they're called green pea eggplants, and they are so good. And when you're eating the green curry, they kind of pop in your mouth, and they are super awesome. So the peas in this green curry are to sort of emulate that experience. While our veggies are bubbling away on the other burner, I am going to get the cabbage slaw ready for the base of our dish. And then I'm just using a little bit of oil in here. Now that our oil is hot, we are going to add in our coleslaw. And then we're just going to be tossing it a little bit. This is going to reduce in size as it cooks. As you can see, our slaw has already started reducing somewhat. The slaw has reduced by about half the size right now, and I think we're just about done here. Alright, so actually the two veggies that I'm most concerned about are the carrots, because carrots take a longer time to cook. So that's looking pretty done, but I'm going to test it too. That's done. And then the other one that we really want to make sure is cooked very well through is the eggplant. And that's this little guy here. Because eggplant, when it's not fully cooked all the way through, can have a bit of a spongy texture, and we don't want that. We want it to be soft. Yummy. Okay. We're ready for shrimp. Okay, so as I said before, I'm just going to take this and dump it all in. So we don't want it to like overcook, so we didn't add it earlier. But this is only going to take, I don't know, maybe about 8 minutes to cook through. Shrimp cooks very quickly, and so do frozen peas. So I timed it for 10 minutes, and it's about at 6 minutes to go right now, but I can tell that those shrimp are done. So I am going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to add in my chopped up basil, and we are very close to done here. So once you add your basil in, you just want to kind of fold it in and let those herbs incorporate into the dish. Okay, so as you can see, I've put some of the cabbage at the bottom of my dish, and now I'm going to spoon over some of this delicious curry. We're ready for the taste test. Oh my god, it looks so good. Alright. Yummy. You can also do this on like cauliflower rice that I know a lot of people like to make. You can just have it by itself. You can put different proteins in this. If you're making this with chicken, don't wait until the end to put in the protein. Put it in with the second can of coconut milk at the beginning, before you add your veggies in. Put your chicken in. Let's try one of these shrimps. It's so good. I hope you guys try this, because it is delicious. Go eat my lunch. Bye.